What's happening, everybody? Look at what we got here. Digital gauges from P3. So, welcome to another episode. I'm Basilica. Right. Vatos Locos forever. Yo, check it out. Since we're talking about Vatos Locos forever, check it out. Check it out, Holmes. My boy just sent me, Kirk just sent me one of these posters. It's one of my Instagram followers in California. So appreciate you, brother. Since all let's talk about the Vatos Locos, you know what I'm saying? He sent me these posters, kind of cool. Set it up on the wall, you know. Everybody come by, be like, yo, you are a true Vato Loco forever. So let me get in this car real quick, and then I'm gonna talk to you guys. Let me grab the gauge as well and talk a little bit about it. Actually, I have a little story, a little bit behind this P3 gauge here. Let me get in here. Let me get in here. Man, this thing is dirty, huh? All right. So, we're back in here with the P3 gauge, yo. Look at that. Check it out. Check it out. It's my interior. Looking clean, looking clean. Okay, so as y'all know, I'm boosting my car, right? Look at this. It's got push button, panel switch. It's got an AEM gauge right there, temperature gauge. It's got a wide band gauge, AEM right there. Now, in order to add an extra gauge, because I'm going turbo, let me go ahead and set this right here. If I can. Come on, yo. Sorry guys, just give me a second here. Can you see me? That looks so good, huh? Looks so good, don't I? So the problem with that is I have two gauges on the factory hose, where one of those is a dimmer, and then one of those like for like some kind of like a sensor or something. I don't even know what it was. Anyways, there are already some factory holes in there, and I cut those up with the gauges. It flows nice and smooth. Now I have to add a third gauge. Now most gauges are round gauges, and I don't really have a spot where I like to cut into my dashboard, cut into somewhere to put a gauge. So that being said, those are already cut custom into the dash. I would hate to cut something else again into a dash for another gauge, put another round gauge. They make like pods. You can put some right here, so you can put some over the clock, you can put some over the steering column, you can put one over the east side where the bezel is. But then now I have 3 gauges, so now I have to put total 4 gauges. Now the problem with that is just too many gauges. It doesn't look clean. For me, it's just too much. So I'm like, okay. Now to go back a few years back, when I had my E46 M3 Supercharge, I drove up down to Georgia with my my boy what's his name? I don't know if he's watching this. He's gonna hate me for this. With the CCW. Oh my goodness, he's gonna hate me for this if he watches this. I'll come back to his name. Can't think of the name right now. James Taylor, bro. I was having a moment. James Taylor, if you're watching this, man, I'm sorry. Miss Goosey, me having too many problems going on. In fact, so this company, P3 Cars, they make a gauge that actually bolts up. It bolts up in your, not just bolts up, it goes into your vent, air vent gauge. And I had that on my M3 E46. So pretty much what you do, you just unplug your air vent, you take the whole air vent, and they can also have it where actually you get it with the vent. You just stick it in the vent. It's pretty much plug and play, and it plays, displays a lot of stuff off your ECU. It plugs into your OBD2 port, so you get like you know, tachometer, temperature, wideband, voltage, RPM, all kinds of stuff. Well, I kind of have everything kind of set up with my car, and I don't need all the other extra stuff other than just a boost gauge. So they made me a custom display that I'm going to make custom to fit over the clock. So this gauge, I'm gonna open it up right here real quick. my kids actually always like to go into my stuff, and I don't know why my kids are like always like to get into my stuff and open everything up like it's their toys, you know. So if you look here, I got a whole bunch of stuff, you know. It's got like a box here, which is a control box, and it's got this harness that goes to the OBD2 port. You see that? That's an OBD2 port. What that does, you plug it in, and this thing automatically connects from this box to your display right here. This is the display. Now, this is a custom big display because I want to put it over my clock. So that's why I needed that big. You see what I'm saying? The numbers are going to display inside here, and I'm going to have to cut this and trim it to fit over my clock. But usually they're a lot smaller and they're fitted in your air vent, and it's pretty much plug and play. You cannot go wrong with this right here. So if you don't want to cut in your dash, you want to get extra. Plus, it displays a lot of stuff on this, because if you buy, like me, you know, you buy a temperature gauge, you know, $160, $180. You buy a wideband gauge, you spend like another $200 some dollars. You're already $350 on 2 gauges. Then you want to get a boost gauge, another like $200. Next thing you know, you're gonna have like $600-700 in gauges. Where you can just buy one of these, and then it displays everything off of it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this is gonna be on their website, and then it comes with a lot more stuff. Like it's got some other data log stuff that comes right here. You see that? And this all just plugs and play with that. So I mean, you can just play off with this everything, and then it's got 2 buttons right here, so you can just constantly go through it. But I'm going to go ahead and install this custom on my clock, which is right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna try to remove this clock here. Now with display, I mean, you can display this anywhere in your car. I mean, if you don't want to put it there, I mean, by all means, man, you can just put it right there. You can leave the clock hooked up. You can have this gauge hooked up right in here, kind of nice and clean. You can see it right there. You can just take it out of here and put in this vent, you know. Whatever will be a cool place for the gauge. You know, most of those gauges, they come in a vent. So half of the vent. Turn this fan this way a little bit, get a little flow, because man, it's hot out. It's hot and humid, and this Vato Loco needs to cool down. So we got the clock, we got the display, and this is gonna pretty much lay over the top of that. I'm gonna glue it on. I don't know exactly how everything's gonna flow, but I know that's how I want to do it. And yeah, so what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna go ahead and start. Let me see this camera right here real quick, kind of see. So what I'm gonna do here first, as you can tell, you know, it's got this little display right here in the back. That's the display, which is glued onto this piece. I have to kind of make it go inside there. As you can tell, I'm like almost at the edge of this, but I'm gonna have to make a hole inside the clock right there. I know, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ruin this clock right here. So we're gonna go ahead and just kind of, you know, it's got a little spring right there. I popped it off, see that? So I don't have it. So when you put that display, you know, so what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to drill right here, break the clock. I could have just taken the clock apart and remove it. I can probably do that as well. So let me see that real quick. Go ahead and take this off right here. Woo! Everything gonna fell off. Okay, we don't need that anyways. But we're gonna have to make a hole right there. We have to make a hole right here. Look at that. Somebody look at this. Look at this mess. Of course, this is the display, which if we're not gonna use it, we can remove that, kind of like that. Let's see if we can close this up still, you know. Yeah, we can still close it. See that? But then all we gotta do is just gonna have to make a hole so the cable can come through the back side. So that's easy. So I'm gonna take this right here and just being kind of reckless with this. You gotta want to be able to kind of slide this piece through it right there. I'm kind of pretty much showing you guys kind of how raw this is and how I do it. So, you know, here's your display. Let's go ahead and try that. So you're gonna have to pretty much run this through here. If I made the hole big enough, you should go through, which is right there. See that? And then the display will go. See, the display right there has got a little lip, and that'll be perfect right there. If you really look at it, I might even be able to use that screw right there. See that? To kind of close it off. See that? See that little metal piece right there? That's kind of even right there. So all I gotta do now, and this is pretty even right here too at the top. So pretty much all I'm gonna have to work with is at the bottom here. See that? See that, the edges? You see what I'm talking about? So what are you gonna do? You're gonna take a marker. So what you're gonna take a marker, make sure it's straight even how you want it, and just kind of like mark it around it. Well, this marker is already dry, so it's no bueno. Try that again. Man, my markers are dry. What's going on here? Let's try that again. Oh yeah, there you go. It looks like the bottom one is good already, you know? There you go. You know, gonna smooth out the edges nice and clean. Bro, we're gonna look in clean. Alrighty. So that's going through very nice. That's kind of cool. Gonna take this off right here. So, you know, after you cut everything out, pretty much, to kind of give you a little bit of example, I kind of trimmed it. I put some tape so I don't scratch the display, but it's pretty much like dead even on the edge with that. So what I usually do, I just kind of take the file and just very soft. The bottom part that's aluminum, this is plastic, so you gotta make sure you go inwards, inside, not on the outside. You definitely don't want to mess up that plastic, because that's the display, you know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna take your time.
you know, when you do this, because you get only one time. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying, my brother? My brother from another mother. My brother from another mother. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, that's that. And now we're gonna glue it. We're gonna clean this up real good. Actually, maybe we should just blow this off real quick. We're gonna have an idea. Nice and round with the clock. We're not gonna use the that because I'm not gonna use the clock anymore, but I am going to close it up though. So to close it up, you gotta put those clips back in here, so those clips can actually hold the clock / the gauge in place. So you gotta put those screws back in, tighten it back in, and I gotta see what I have here to glue this gauge in. JB weld would be good. I mean, if you have other stuff, that'll be great too, but you know, I mean, whatever you got. See that I don't have this in there anymore, so and then we just bolt this sucker back in. Yeah, buddy, that wasn't very hard, right? Alright, that's kind of pretty much how it is. You know, I wish actually I would have left this inside, just kind of put a zip tie right there so this actually doesn't come off, you know, keep it all inside, you know what I mean, because there's plenty of room in there. I mean, I can still do that right now, stick it all in there, you know. I might just do that. I might just take it back out and zip tie, leave it inside, nice and clean. Take it back out. Take it out, nice and clean. So yeah, buddy, that's kind of. See what I'm doing here. Excuse me. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this cord and just kind of make it smaller, you know. Got some zip ties right here. Another one right there. Just that way you can keep the whole cord inside the gauge. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm talking about? So when you bun it up, it's gonna be like that. See that? Kind of nice and clean and tight. And you're gonna have this right here poking out. That's it. So we don't have extra wire. And then you're just gonna close it back up again. Make sure with those screws, because they're very little. Those screws are very little and they can break very easily. So, see that? take these other ones right here. Yeah, like, you know, I know what you're thinking, like, yo, man, you are Mickey Mouse, bro. You are a Mickey Mouse fool. Yo, you can call me Mickey Mouse. I mean, whatever you gotta do. I mean, I'm just doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. It's kind of what's going on. You know, everybody's running their YouTube channels, doing their thing, you know, so this is kind of what I do in my channel, Mickey Mouse stuff. Some of you guys approve of my stuff, some of you guys don't, but hey, you know, it's kind of how it is, see? Look at that. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of hit it up with a marker, make it all black so you don't have nothing, you know, over here. And then we're gonna glue it. We're gonna get some JB Wall or some, zip tie it and let it dry, and then get in the car, you know what I'm saying? So just heat up the edges with this aluminum. You see that? Looks cool, huh? You probably won't see it, but you know, I know it's there, so might as well, you know. Might as well just there you go. Now we gotta find some shingalera over here and see what we got. Okay guys, so we got the gauge, we got the deal right there, you see it? Got some JB Wall right here, which is a 2-to-1, you gotta mix it. We're gonna use the P3 box, it's already have it here. Gonna go ahead and just take some out. You don't need a whole lot. You want to put about just the size of that cap right there, you know, and then you mix it real good. The trick is to mix it really good, you know. And then you close it up. That's what you have, see it? You mix it up real good to become the same color. Because once this sucker gets hard, man, that's it. Look at that, see? It's all the same color, right? So now what you do is you take your gauge and just put it right at the edge right there. Actually, you might want to put it inside. See that? You want to put it inside, not on the gauge itself. You see what I'm doing right there? See that? Don't make a mess now. It can become very messy. After you do that, you just kind of capsule it down. Okay? You grab a rag. What you do, you grab a rag and you squeeze it down. See that? You squeeze it. Now you gotta make sure that your gauge is even. know what I'm saying? You wanna make sure your gauge is even. Alrighty. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this block right here and I'm gonna zip tie it. So that way it can hold it down tight. See that? Put 2 zip ties on both ends. See that? So now what you do is you take your rag and anything that JB weld, any that JB weld is like on top of the gauge, you want to wipe it down. Now it gets a little messy. I kind of like rushed it a little bit because I'm recording and I'm just kind of like all over the place. So that being said, you kind of want to wipe it downwards. You don't want to JB weld on the gauge itself. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of it right there. I know it's kind of messy, but you know, this will help you to this will help with the JB weld to dry on the gauge. And again, make sure you look it over. When you look it over, make sure the gauge is flush. You know? Make sure the gauge is flush. I'm gonna have to put a zip tie at the end right here too, it looks like. I think we're good, man. Flush right there. Flush right here. And just let it dry. That's all you gotta do. Just wait and dry. Gotta wipe this JB weld. Yeah, buddy. So there you have it. You can tell that's the gauge right there. Let me take it outside so you can see better. It's been raining out here. It's kind of crazy, so you gotta have an idea. You know, nice and smooth. See the edges. I hit it with the marker on the side so you cannot see any kind of aluminum or anything, but it looks like a factory clock, right? But it's the whole piece. So let's go ahead and and then we got the box, as you can tell. Put the camera right there. So that's your gauge right there. And like I said, I zipped that inside, so that actually you don't have the excessive cord coming out. There's no reason to have that because you already have this. You know, all this is gonna do is gonna plug into here. See that? There you go. And you got your vacuum hose, which goes right there. Which I have the vacuum hose going underneath the car. And then we got we had the OBD2 port, but since I'm not using that, we got the positive and negative right there. So I'm gonna have to splice that into the clock. So go to the car here. I'm gonna get my voltage deal. check for power, dip in that plug for the clock, and then we'll be golden. See, that's ignition right there. We got power right here. By the way, this is my fuse panel. As you can tell, I have a custom what do you call it, cap harness. There's nothing OEM here, and yeah, that's all my power comes through there. But oh, I got fuel all over the ground. I thought I already disconnect the fuel pump, but apparently I didn't. See that? That's all fuel right there. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and just leave the ignition on so I can check my voltage. Alrighty. I'm still not out my fuel system, so I got everything kind of chilling underneath the car. So anyways, that's the plug right there, which I have access to it. See that? And I'm gonna check the power because I have ignition, constant power, so I can keep the clock, you know what I mean, memory of the car. And I'm probably not gonna hook up the what do you call it, the memory power, because this is gonna, as soon as the car comes on, that thing will come on, you know what I mean. So yeah, buddy, I mean, minus a little, you know, fuel over here, but that's not gonna hurt nobody, right? This pretty cool snap-on volt tester. It doesn't have a wire, right? All you gotta do is just be grounded. So if I can touch my hand the shifter and to watch one of the wires, it makes power, you know. So like I said, my plug has got a custom power, an ignition power, and a ground. So I can just touch with my elbows, since I'm holding the camera here. I can touch with my elbow the stick shift, which is grounded to the body, and it makes it constant hot, and then I'll just touch it to see which of the power is. So we got the power, the top one and the bottom one. Top one is orange with green and blue. I think the blue is the custom power. So let's turn the ignition off. There you go, this is the custom power. So the blue one is the one we need. The blue one and the green one. So we're gonna have to unplug those. That's what we're gonna wire it up to. So let's go ahead and just tap those wires in there for the gauge. For the blue, the blue is this one. Well, it's kind of rigged up right now, but this is just kind of test, you know. And then I'm gonna wire it all up and dip in everything, but this is just a test. See if yeah, buddy. All right. There you go, stay there. Or not. Or fall. Well, sorry guys, I'm coming back. I had to go get my kids. Then I had to stop at the gym, got a quick pump, you know what I'm saying? Real quick flex, beast mode. So, here's the gauge. Already glued on. JB welt's already dry. I trimmed it. Show you guys real quick how it kind of looks all the way around. Nice and clean, right? See the clock? This is the cable. I zip tied in the back. Fold the whole cable inside. So if you pull on it, it's not gonna break the cable or nothing, but kind of see how it looks. And we got the module. This is the control, which I zip tied right here, all the wires. This is the vacuum for the hose, which I got a vacuum right here. So we're gonna go ahead and just plug in that vacuum right there, which it's got a little lip so you can't really pull it out.
And then this had an OBD2 port, so what I did, I just cut the wires. I used the legs from the clock, and then I'm going to plug those in into the clock plug right there. So there it is. This is kind of trying to set this up where actually you can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Can you see, sort of see what I'm doing? There you go. You can probably see that, right? Okay, so we got the positive. I already traced the wires, so I know which one is the positive. So this is the, oh, come on. I'm over here just doing the thing, you know? So we got one right there, and we got the ground right here. So they put them side by side. You see that? Now, this hose is gonna have to go down and then over to the engine bay and the manifold, which is already tapped. So I know there's a hole right here somewhere where the harness came through. So I'm just gonna push this hose all the way down, get out of the way, because once this is bolted up, it's done. Like, I don't want to come back over here, you know what I mean? So, you see what I'm saying, my brother? Get this hose all the way down in there. So you get that hose in there. Now, you're gonna have to stick this box somewhere over here or on the side there. You see that? We got the plug right here for the box, which is, it goes right into this module right here. And then let's go ahead and just put the ignition on. See, it's got the little line right there at the bottom. So there it is. It's installed. Nice and clean. No gaps, nothing. Flush mount. Feels good. Let's get here. Put the ignition on. Let's see. There you go. We do have a vacuum hose right here, which is not hooked up to the car. And I can suck on this. You can kind of see, you know. And that's sick. What do you guys think, right? Pretty cool, right? Plus I got the white glow LED on my cluster, and it's got red and clear just like that one, and it matches great, you know. So again, guys, I know I'm probably kind of all over with this video install. I hope that you can purchase this gauge for your build. I think it's an awesome touch, and like I said, you can just install that gauge anywhere in the vent. Usually that's how they have it, but I figured maybe you can just do what I did. You can just take it and install it however fits your build, and that'll be a nice touch to that. So again, I want to give a huge shout out to P3. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the gauge. I know this is like an oversized display for my build, and I think it's just turned awesome. So again, thanks everybody. So yeah, make sure you check out the website. If you have any questions, you can message me, or you can just get in touch with somebody at P3. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to talk to you about your build. And again, this is an awesome gauge. Even if you're not gonna have turbo, it's a plug and play to OBD2 port, so you can just plug it up and you can just watch all these features on there, like tachometer, temperature, air fuel, everything that runs your car, the engine runs after ECU, it can display on one gauge. And it's kind of awesome because instead of having, like, you know, temperature gauge, wideband gauge, boost gauge, you can have it all into one. I could have displayed all those things into that, but see, this is kind of nice and clean because you just have the OEM kind of fitment in there, and same thing over there, and kind of gives it a nice kind of performance. But adding extra gauges and stuff, it just didn't really do it for me. Apologize about my phone. People over here just texting me non-stop. Posted a picture a little bit ago about the install, and everybody's asking me, what can I get? What can I get one? What can I get one? Well, this video is gonna be up. Make sure you check it out and get in touch with those guys at P3. Maybe this video is going to be on their website, and yeah, hopefully, like I said, this is kind of how I did the install. I mean, you guys can do way better. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. This video might be on the website, also on my YouTube channel. And yeah, thanks for sticking around and watching this install. And catch you guys next up when actually I'm going to put some real boost up in there, because right now it's just fake boost, you know. Yeah, buddy.